interview that was done. Shout out to Professor King. This interview that was done at the Breakfast Club from somebody that was a Biden strategist. So this person is a Biden strategist. Y'all take a look at it. Where are we going to be today? Where shall we be today? If it's okay with y'all, we'll rock out here. And y'all give me y'all thoughts. Give me y'all thoughts on this one.
I don't really talk to people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, that's not, I don't need to talk to them.
You know this guy, Lenny, they call him Charlamagne, but Lenny's got a radio show, and
Lenny.
he had Biden advisor
Dave
Valencia
Rubin, funny.
Johnson on. Well, you just tell me, does this seem like the good move for the Democrats right now if they're going to be a big party ever again in the future?
If
Some of my journalist friends and I get into this disagreement. I don't really talk to people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, that's not, I don't need to talk to them. Because if we look at the last election, 90 million eligible voters did not vote. That's a whole lot of people that we can reach to understand that they actually have power to change the system.
I think you should.
Let's get right to, Charlamagne, if I may chime in very quickly. This is very much part of the problem, however you want to look at it. She thinks that because she'd rather not talk to certain people that she disagrees with or doesn't see the same way, doesn't have this exact same perspective, which is so funny because they're the party of DEI, right? Diversity, right? But when it comes to diversity of thought, we've had this conversation over and over. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But her looking at this from a standpoint like, oh, well, there's just 90 million other people. And then when I think about them incentivizing all these illegal migrants to come here, they really feel that they can either just like, they don't even feel the need to come to the table. Let's sit down. Let's break bread. Let's see how you're seeing it from this point of view. Let me explain why I'm seeing it from this point of view. And let's see if we can find some common ground here, because we do have to operate in a society as one, right? It's not like it's just Democrats living in one state, Republicans living in another. It's not like there's a Democratic food store that you go to. We have to interact with each other. So for a Democratic strategist to get up here on a globally syndicated show, or definitely nationally syndicated show, and feel so comfortable saying what she just said, it just shows, like, when you display this level of ignorance, in my opinion, it just shows why we are in the position that we're in. These people, imagine not speaking, feeling the need that you don't need to speak to the other side. People that may not see the world the same way as you. Because what do we say? Our own experiences shape how we see the world. I kind of talked about it, touched on it on a few different shows about some conversations that I was having with some family and friends over the last couple of weeks. And it became very apparent that their individual experience with one type of situation, it could be, well, I was raised this way, so therefore I want to, and I'm trying not to give the specifics out, but it's almost as if saying, well, yeah, I had a bad experience with basketball, so therefore my kid is not going to play basketball. It's like our own individual experiences shape the world. And let me give it better. It's not like that one. It's like, I had a bad experience with basketball, so nobody else should play basketball. Like, it's insane just because people, let's keep going. I'm sorry. My apologies. Let's keep going.
Talk to people.
And that they actually have power to change the system.
I think you should talk to people who voted for Trump. And the reason I think you should is because then you'll understand the why. And I think that's where Democrats just simply failed.
Yes.
They didn't know, they couldn't understand the why. It's like, oh, how could you vote for the, did you actually have a conversation with them to see how? Because a lot of it does just have to do with a lot of policies that they just didn't agree with.
That's true. And
so she started off saying, and this is, to me, what I'm seeing is that a lot of people get on these cameras and they feel that they just want to act a certain way to appeal to a particular group. I see that Michelle Obama doing that. I see Jasmine Crockett doing that. Just my perspective. So you get up on here in these platforms and you say certain things and you sound stupid. And then all it takes is Charlamagne to say, oh, well, no, I actually think you should talk to people that don't think the same way as you. I know your way of thinking is the perfect way. I know your perspective is the only perspective, the righteous perspective, the morally ground perspective. We know that. But perhaps if you speak to them and humble yourself a bit, then you will understand why they're saying that they're voting a different way. Why these people that used to agree with you, used to vote with you at the very least, are going in a different direction. They have no interest in sitting down, discussing, seeing the world from any other perspective that does not fully align with theirs. So then, as a Democratic political strategist, she gets on the Breakfast Club and presents herself this way. Charlamagne, who's just a radio host who just got into politics maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, just started getting interested in politics. This is according to him. Like, this is something that he's told me. That was a little bit of yeah, I did that. Yeah, whatever. That's my, whatever. So he's telling her, nah, you should talk to the other side. And what does she say? Oh, yeah, that's fair. Maybe I should. So who's the strategist here? Maybe Charlamagne should be the strategist.
Let me clarify that. There are a lot of people with privilege and understanding exactly why they voted for Donald Trump, which is centered around race, that I do not like to engage with. Mm-hmm. But to your point,
people with privilege. So the people with privilege, I don't want to engage with. Did I hear that wrong? Hold on.
A lot of people with privilege and understanding exactly why they voted for Donald Trump, which is centered around race, that I do not like.
So they voted for Trump because of race. People with privilege voted for Trump because of race, and the fact that she's trying to say something without actually saying it. I don't know if y'all are confused. I don't even know what she just meant. But I guess my takeaway would be is when you say people with privilege and then say that made it about race, I assume you're talking about white people and white privilege. So you're saying that all the people, like all white people that have privilege, because I'm pretty sure she's the type of person that would acknowledge that, oh, all white people have white privilege. Okay, cool. I'm not here to argue about that. But based on what she just said, people with privilege, they only made it about race. So are you insinuating that just white people that voted for Trump only voted for him because of race? This is their mindset. This is why they feel why they don't feel the need to have to ever address their policies. They think that this is just a race thing. They don't understand that somebody like me could say, no, I don't want to vote for people who won't acknowledge what a woman is. I don't want to vote for somebody who is cool with having drag queens reading books to little kids. I don't want to vote for somebody who's putting policies in California where if I have a son and he goes to school and feels like or tells the teachers that he's a girl and to call him instead of Daniel, call him Danielle, that teacher doesn't need to tell me that. I don't agree with a lot of these policies, especially from a cultural standpoint. I don't agree with y'all just incentivizing and allowing millions of migrants to come here illegally and put them in cities where the infrastructure is already terrible enough for those people living in poverty. But it never goes beyond race with these people. So therefore, that's why they never understand that Charlamagne is talking about.
Like to engage with. Mm-hmm. But to your point, if I think about where I grew up, if I think about people who I may not talk to anymore, but high school, college, whatever it may be, they probably did vote for Donald Trump for whatever reason it may be. And so what is the conversation? Is it the economy? But then continue to ask all those questions. Yeah. Is it because you believe this trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires not paying you a fair wage? Like, what is...
Can we retitle an episode?
So, oh my God, this is crazy. So she said a bunch of things there, and this is the hypocrisy. I want us to pay attention to what she said
because
about the billionaires.
This trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires.
You believe this trope that other people are taking your job, but in reality, it's the billionaires. It's the billionaires that what? Did she say something after that?
This trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires not paying you a fair wage. Like what?
It's these billionaires that pay you a fair wage, she said. So I assume that she's saying that it's the reality that it's the billionaires that don't pay you a fair wage. So
Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're gonna get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are gonna continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video and I'll see y'all soon. Ew.
I assume that that's what she was saying. Making that assumption, this is exactly what we've been talking about for a very long time. These Democrats want to try to convince people to hate the billionaires, to hate the people that have been successful enough to create businesses that afford people that have not had that level of success the right to have a job, the right to get a consistent paycheck every 2 weeks, to put food on their table, to go on vacations, to live life, to not deal with the stresses that come with starting and creating and building your business by or on your own, and not just going to work for somebody else who built their business. They talk about paying a fair wage. She's talking about paying a fair wage. So let's kind of relate this to the tariffs. So we have an issue with Trump charging tariffs, right? Okay, cool. Because it's going to increase the price of products that we have to buy from either Amazon, Target, or Walmart. So the very same people that think it's so important for Americans to have livable wages and get paid fairly, but when it comes to other countries that make our products, and the reason why they're able to make cheap products is because they're using sweatshops with kids and cheap labor, right? They're doing all these things. We don't care about that. We don't care about saying, you know what? I'm a humanitarian. I care about people outside of just America, right? I care about, clearly a lot of the Democrats care about what's going on in the Middle East, care about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, you care about all those things. Russia invaded, right? Israel is committing a genocide, right? Isn't that a lot of the talking points on that side? So if you care about people in other regions, then wouldn't you also care about the fact that the only reason why we're able to have these cheap products compared to American-made products is because that they're producing them in sweatshop slave-like labor systems? Or do we just not care about that? It's a whole bunch of hypocrisy when it comes to them. And the reason why it's a whole bunch of hypocrisy, in my opinion, is because they have tunnel vision. They surround themselves with people that think the same way as them, that live in their bubble. Just like she said, she doesn't feel the need to speak to anybody else outside of her bubble. And then she clarified and said, well, more so just the people that have privilege and voted just race. So you're not going to speak to any white people that don't agree with you 100%? So because a white person voted for Trump, they're automatic. This is insane. This is insane. And people like her have been put in a position of power. And we see how it has shifted and shaped our culture.
Can we retitle an episode in the middle of a show? Can we get our guy to do that? And this could just be crazy leftist bitches saying useless nonsense. Would that work with the YouTube algorithm? I'm not sure. Just nothing. I'm not going to talk to Trump supporters.
Apologies for the language. Yeah. I wonder if she truly believes that, or yeah. And see, this is the thing. How did he respond? Now he responds. Now the pendulum swings the complete opposite way. Dave, what's his name again? Dave Rubin. He knows damn well he shouldn't be saying that. Is it right? Do a lot of y'all hear me talk about a lot of the especially in particular black women that are on the Democratic Party, but should he be calling them that? I don't think so. Why would you like it? This is the pendulum swing completely back the other way. Now y'all could say, well, if you feel that way, then why wouldn't it be okay to say it? Because it just continues to create more division. It doesn't help the situation. It doesn't help the situation you calling her a B because she said something super ignorant, which I agree, that pisses me off, that I think misleads our country. But then we see the pendulum swing back the other way. So life is amazing. Don't y'all ever forget that. Life is amazing. All right, so let's move on to, I want to play for y'all. I thought, why is it not even? All right, so apparently I don't have it saved. So I want to play for y'all this interview. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. And my fault. Steve wrote, so I wonder if she truly believes that, or if she is another mouthpiece that intentionally spreads the propaganda to forward the agenda. Steve, I'm gonna be honest. I go back and forth on this one. Like, does she really believe this dumb stuff? Like, does she really support like how she's coming across? Like, does that like you ever like when you play sports, you go back and watch the film, right? You go back and watch the tape, and even before you watch the tape, you kind of know when, damn, I messed up on this play, to the point where it's like you know you got to watch film in front of the in front of sometimes it's the entire team, sometimes it may just be your position group, whatever. You're dreading getting ready to watch the film because you know, like, dang, this play I did terrible on. It's embarrassing. When they go back and watch it, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that they're looking at it like that. When Jasmine Crockett goes back and watches the tape of the things that she's saying, matter of fact, in a recent interview, not Colbert, she was on what's the other guy? Jimmy Kimmel, I think she was on, or she was on one of these late night TV shows. And even if you see how she's conducting herself, and she made the comment saying that, well, it's when you're talking about, pretty much, I'm going to paraphrase, but she was saying, well, I've gotten some of the most attention from the stuff that I was saying, that she didn't use this word, but that wasn't politically correct. And she's addicted to the attention. So that's why she continues to behave in these matters. So I don't even think that they're seeing it when they go back and look at it like, dang, I was bugging on this. I don't think they're looking at it like that. G wrote, is all of this based out of self-interest and where each person gets their money, or is it personal values? Interesting to find out. I think it's self-interest that compromise the personal values. And what do I mean by that? I think that this is one of those things where we've talked about in different areas where you have a particular group of people that have been convinced that they've been oppressed. So now they embrace this victim mentality. So then when you have two groups, one that doesn't acknowledge your victimhood and the other group that says, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're a victim. Like, oh, whatever you need, we're going to empower you. We're going to give you money. We're going to put you on TV. We're going to platform you. We're going to give you opportunities, but rock with us, push our message. So they end up compromising their morals based out of self-interest in order to receive whatever empowerment, whether that's a financial empowerment, whether it's an emotional empowerment, whatever it may, professional, whatever it may be. They compromise their morals, or never were raised to have a certain level of particular morals, just in order to satisfy the self-interest that comes with the things that the Democratic Party are offering these women, in my opinion. Shout out to my brother Boog in the building. So that's how I look at it. I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. Let me Letitia James. Hold on. It wasn't this interview. Hold on. One second. Give me a second. Oh my God. What was the lady's name? Avery. Hold on. I have it in my history. I'm tripping. This interview, I gotta show y'all this. Oh my God, how the hell is this not showing up? My apologies. I promise y'all I had this. You know what? Hold on. Letitia James interview. What the heck? Hold on. I gotta show y'all this. Give me a second. Do me a favor while y'all got it. When you finally find it.
It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.